our first presentation, which is Richard Ehrlich, COO of Iconic Wellness and Provisioning. Richard, are you there? And are you ready to kick this off?
Sure. Can everyone hear? Well, can you hear me, David?
Yep, I can hear you.
Great. Okay, here we go. I'd like to welcome you to the Iconic Wellness and Provisioning Investor Presentation. My name is Richard Ehrlich, and I'm one of the 3 founding members of Iconic. It's important to understand my extensive experience in representing investors personifies my allegiance to all shareholders. We carefully constructed our capital structure to give investors a special opportunity. Cannabis is becoming mainstream. 39 states have legalized medical cannabis, and 15 of the 39 states are legalized for adult use. Over 270 million Americans live in states that permit the use of medical cannabis, and 93 million are permitted for adult use. Legal U.S. cannabis revenues were $12.4 billion in 2019, $16.3 billion in 2020, and expected to approach over $30 billion by 2024. The legal U.S. cannabis industry will eventually be larger than the alcohol industry. The political landscape continues to make major strides to benefit the cannabis industry. If you don't use cannabis, at least consider investing in it. Iconic Wellness and Provisioning LLC is a fully integrated co-location cannabis company starting with our licenses in the state of Michigan. We are finishing up the balance of our friends and family round with the $700,000 remaining out of the $3 million round. Our pre-money valuation is $7 million. We are currently fully funded to open our dispensary this spring. Construction will commence in a couple of weeks. For Iconic Wellness and Provisioning, I deliberately mention our dispensary will be opened in a few months. Our capital structure is methodically tied in with our business plan with placing our investors first. This means from day one, we're enhancing shareholder value as opposed to growing into a valuation. Almost 100% of our 2-tiered capital raise of $10 million will be applied to our tangible assets. Opening our dispensary first is the quickest way to optimize efficiency with an operating capital structure priority. Plain and simple, your company needs to start off on the right foot for investors to see how they can make money. Who is Iconic Wellness and Provisioning? We have a nucleus of 3 managing members. Kevin Beebe is an experienced grower cannabis operator. Daniel Chilowich is a lawyer by trade, serial entrepreneur, and a cannabis operator. And my background is on the investment management and banking side. The management team also has a chemistry that dates way before Iconic. Iconic is a fully integrated co-location cannabis business. I emphasize fully integrated co-location since this is the building block of our company, but truly needs to be explained in detail. What I mean by this, so let me give you a few bullet points. Although cannabis is legal in Michigan, each municipality needs to opt in on their own. Currently, 20% of municipalities have opted in, leaving tremendous upside for expansion in the 10th largest state in our country. Additionally, each municipality creates their own mandates, which limiting licenses and placing zoning restrictions. That being said, selecting a site for our facility had many considerations. We believe our property in Sturgis, Michigan provides us the perfect platform to succeed. Our 7-acre facility in Sturgis, Michigan, provisioning, which is our dispensary, cultivation, and processing. It's unique. As we span the entire state, being very selective and particular with our needs, we're able to find the exact demographics we wanted while staying true to our business model. To whet your appetite a little, we have an early mover advantage covering a large radius with limited competition, barriers to entry advantage, and certainly economies of scale on a 7-acre facility. We're strategically located 2 miles away from the Indiana border. Cannabis is currently illegal in Indiana. Sturgis has a thriving business community, including an Abbott Laboratory manufacturing facility with 1,000 employees. Although our bread and butter is focused on our grow operation and initially set for 1,000 plants with plenty of space for additional capacity, having your headquarters Flagship dispensary, your grow operation and processing all together is not an easy accomplishment. We have done that. At this point, I have a short video of the rendering of our dispensary to share with you, and I'll go over a few pages in our deck. Let me share my screen. Hopefully I won't take too long doing this. And I'll start off with the video. This will be about 45 seconds. I'll be quiet so everyone can take this in. Okay, I hope that didn't put anyone to sleep. By the way, we're making the dispensary pretty large to accommodate social distancing. Let me now get to our next slides. Second.
You have 6 minutes left.
Okay, great. I probably need 2 more minutes and we'll open up to Q&A. Move to page 4. Here's an aerial view mock-up of our facility. This is a little story, a true story I want to share with you, maybe get a little chuckles out of it. So a potential investor was looking at this page and he was able to envision the magnitude of our operation. He proceeded to say to me, I'm confused. Is your pre-money valuation 7 million or is it 70 million? So I'm reiterating that our pre-money valuation is only $7 million. I'm going to skip to page 13. On this page, I'd like to point out where Sturgis, Michigan is. See the bottom, the red area that says Sturgis and the arrow? So this, just Sturgis is relative to other dispensaries with a 45-mile radius between us. That's pretty significant. We're also, as you can see at the bottom, is Indiana right below us, which another page will depict that. On this page, this gives you a little more of location history, a little more of the demographic. The picture on the right, I kind of like this because as you can see, all the restaurants, all the fast food restaurants, so a great town to be in, especially if you're coming from the munchies. Hope everyone chuckled there. Now this next
You have a little less than 4 minutes left. That
Thanks,
includes for
David.
Q&A, Rich.
Thanks. So 810 Broader Street on this picture, we're only 2 miles away from the Indiana state line and major highways and roadways connecting both. I'm going to skip to page 17. Here's our financial projections. Best way to conceptualize our earnings potential is to focus on the cost of around $450 to produce 1 pound. And the current retail price of a pound split into various products and quantities comes to about $8,000 a pound currently. So if you do the math, several pounds of cannabis makes a lot of money. Page 21. Is
Rich, you're now down to 2 minutes if you want to ask questions.
Is our exit strategy. As I said before, our capital structure and business model is key. This provides us the flexibility for many exit options for all shareholders. So now I will open this up to the Q&A.
Thank you so much, Rich. So for the judges, I cannot see you right now currently the way the screen is, but feel free to go ahead. And who has a question for Rich? You know what? I'm gonna ask the quick question. Why so close to Indiana? Why'd you pick that?
Well, David, initially, the I guess the beginning cannabis players, they went to Detroit, they went to Ann Arbor, and they went to East Lansing. And that's probably where I would have went to a year and a half ago. But that's getting a little saturated. And a lot of these larger companies have also some cash constraints with them right now. So we thought we'd have to really think outside of the box. And although our grow can enable us, and we're seed to sell, so we can go out to many other cities within Michigan all throughout, especially when only 20% have opted in so far. But establishing our first headquarters should be special. We're really trying to make this a big impact initially. So being next to Indiana, where they're not legalized, can really cha-ching the register, so to speak.
Richard, this is Adam Remus. I have a question.
Sure. We have about 1 minute left. So just ask your question though, Adam, please.
280E taxes really are a huge impact here. And I noticed that cultivation manufacturing was lagging behind the storefront. Did you think about maybe reversing your strategy and doing cultivation manufacturing first?
Right. So that's
Thank you.
with our thank you so much. So with our capital structure, you want to really start the business as quick as you can possibly do. You want to start revenues. You want to reduce your burn rate. The best way to do that is to focus on the operation that is the path to the least resistance, that's going to open up the quickest with the least amount of capital and give you some good cash flow for so when you're building out your grow operation, you don't have to dilute too much when you're raising the money. On the 280E side, we're fortunate enough where we're fully integrated, right? So our co-location fully integrated, we're able to take advantage of a lot of tax issues there. So it's not perfect. Anyone that knows 280 is not perfect, but us having it together, and we're also doing the grow basically a couple months behind the dispensary. So we're really not going to have an issue within this tax year.